Welcome to The Art of Snobbery, the Captain Help series that teaches you the refined art of pretending you know everything. We sip whiskey, muse about modern art, and flirt with jazz. Today we tackle France's proudest contradiction: cheese. Because only the French could take milk, mold, and thyme and turn it into something people discuss in hushed, reverent tones, usually while holding a knife. Cheese, in France, isn't just food. It's identity, philosophy, and occasionally a social weapon. Where other nations fear spoilage, the French see poetry. They call it affinage, the art of teaching milk how to die beautifully. A proper affineur doesn't store cheese in a fridge. He keeps it in a cave, brushes it, turns it, whispers to it, like a monk raising something that smells of destiny. And that unmistakable aroma? That's bacteria breaking down fat and protein into flavor. Science calls it fermentation. France calls it civilization. Even General de Gaulle once complained, "How can you govern a country with 246 kinds of cheese?" Proving that in France, even chaos has taste. French cheeses are like French people: confident, complex, and best enjoyed at room temperature. Let's meet 4 national icons. Brie de Meaux, the romantic, soft, pale, and wrapped in a white velvet rind. Brie is cream that went to finishing school. It ripens from the outside in, the rind leads, the heart follows. It smells faintly of mushrooms and poetry. Napoleon adored it. He crowned it the king of cheeses. And really, who's going to argue with Napoleon about French taste? Drink it with champagne, naturally. The bubbles flirt with Brie's creaminess. Or for quiet sophistication, a crisp Chablis. If you want to sound knowing, I prefer mine just past ripe when it starts quoting Voltaire. Comté, the perfectionist. From the Jura Mountains, where cows graze on alpine flowers and, well, look smug about it. Each wheel of Comté ages for months in cool stone caves, developing a golden, nutty, subtly caramel flavor, the dairy equivalent of a Swiss watch with feelings. Churchill, incidentally, would have approved. He once said a nation's culture could be judged by its cheese, and Comté is pure civilization. Drink it with a white Burgundy or Chardonnay, something equally structured and confident. Or if you're showing off, a Jura vin jaune, a wine that ages under a veil of yeast, just like Comté's own slow meditation. Roquefort, the rebel, blue-veined, bold, unapologetic. Born in the limestone caves of the south, made from sheep's milk and pierced with tiny needles so air can feed the blue mold within. That's how those turquoise veins appear, like lightning caught in ivory. The result is sharp, salty, and thrilling, a cheese that enters the room before you do. Drink it with a sweet Sauternes or port. The sugar softens the salt magnifies the pleasure. Salvador Dali would have adored it, the man who turned melting cheese into art. Roquefort doesn't whisper, it declares independence. Epoisse, the scandal. Epoisse, the aristocrat of excess. Orange, sticky, and gloriously indecent. Washed in burgundy brandy, it smells like a philosophical farmyard. It's so strong it's banned from public transport, and yet worshipped in French dining rooms. Inside, it's molten, rich, creamy, slightly dangerous. A cheese that knows exactly what it's doing to you. Drink it with a red Burgundy or Pinot Noir, the elegance of the wine taming the chaos of the cheese. Or for the bold, a glass of cognac, the only drink arrogant enough to flirt back. Epoisse is proof that some love affairs are worth the consequences. Now, a few survival rules for when someone inevitably offers you the cheese course. Rule 1, let it breathe. Cheese is alive. Serve it cold, and you've just committed murder. Rule 2, cut from the center outward. Never amputate the nose of the brie. That's culinary vandalism. Rule 3, cure it, don't cater. 3 or 4 cheeses are elegant. 10 is panic. Rule 4, own the smell. If your cheese doesn't make the room slightly uncomfortable, it's not ready. As the French say, if it smells like your shoes, it's perfect. Preferably someone else's shoes. Timing, of course, matters. In France, cheese comes after the main course, before dessert, the elegant bridge between meat and sweetness. It's the intermission where the French rest, reflect, and subtly compete for the best slice of Brie. Serving cheese before dessert shows culture. Serving it instead of dessert shows character. Serving it after dessert shows confusion. But yes, cheese can appear elsewhere. A few slices of Comté or Chèvre with white wine before dinner is perfectly chic. Brie with champagne at brunch feels playful, and a wedge of Roquefort with whiskey at midnight feels like confession. Cheese, like wit, is best enjoyed in moderation. Too little, and you look timid. Too much, and you look American. Of course, true mastery of French cheese isn't just about what you taste, it's about what you say, and perhaps more importantly, what you never say. Because in the refined world of cheese, one wrong sentence can melt your entire reputation faster than a Brie in August. So, a quick survival guide. Words a cheese snob would never utter, and a few lines that always make you sound delightfully informed. What a cheese expert never says: all cheese tastes the same. To an expert, that's like saying all symphonies sound alike. Every cheese has its own voice, Brie whispers, Comté hums, Roquefort shouts. I prefer my cheese cold. Never. Cold cheese is flavor in hibernation. Let it wake up, stretch, and remember who it is. I don't like the smell. A rookie mistake. A strong aroma isn't offensive. It's persuasive. As the French say, ça a du caractère. I cut off the rind. Oh no, the rind is the biography of the cheese, where it's lived, how it's aged, what it's become. Discard it and you're skipping the story. I serve cheese before the meal. In France, that's like starting a novel with the epilogue. Cheese belongs after the main course and before dessert, the thoughtful pause between appetite and nostalgia. I bought this at the supermarket. You didn't. You acquired it from a small fromager who personally blesses each wheel before wrapping it in paper. And never under any circumstances say, I think I'm lactose intolerant. Not at a French table. Smile, nibble, and let the bacteria do the diplomacy. If you want to sound effortlessly cultured, try lines like these. This Brie is perfectly a point, just past its moment of perfection. You can really taste the meadow in this Comté. The cows must have been poets. I prefer Roquefort from the caves of Combalou. It has that assertive confidence I admire. Époisses. Ah yes, the one that's banned from the Paris metro. That's how you know it's divine. The Rhine tells you everything. You just have to listen. Cheese isn't about perfection, it's about patience. A few phrases like these delivered with quiet certainty, and suddenly you're not just eating cheese, you're interpreting culture. Cheese is France's way of proving that beauty and decay aren't opposites. They're stages. Time doesn't ruin milk, it civilizes it. Each cheese is a small act of transformation, humble beginnings, patient refinement, and finally, perfection with a smell. So next time you lift a slice of Brie or Roquefort, don't just eat it, admire it. You are tasting civilization's most delicious form of surrender to time. This was the art of snobbery, French cheese. The fine art of rot, one of many cultured indulgences on the Captain Help channel, where we celebrate taste, talk, and the exquisite nonsense of refinement. Captain Help, smarter every day in any way. Until next time, stay cultured and slightly overripe.